Hey everyone! Today's review is all about the Storehouse app on iPad. When it came out a lot of buzz. It's supposed to be something like a long form app for storytelling, where you could insert your photos and create stuff actually on your iPad. People usually thought, oh, the iPad is just a device for playing games, for consumption. But then with Storehouse, people started thinking, oh, you know what? The iPad could actually be used for content creation and more than just rattling off emails or whatever. It's like you could actually compose real stuff that you could share, like stories, like insert some video clips, I think. Anyway, so that was Storehouse. I tried it out a few times. I actually don't have an iPad, I use Android mostly, but my mother has an iPad, so I would borrow it, log into the Storehouse, link it to my Dropbox. I thought of it as Instagram, but for long form. It's got a social media function where you could follow people. It didn't really have much of a presence on desktop or the computer. Just like Instagram, it lived mostly on the iPad. So people would just, they compose there, they write there, they grab their files from the iPad too, whether it's from their camera roll or maybe from how I use it is I grab from Dropbox because all my good photos are taken with a real camera, then I import it to Dropbox. Now I haven't used it since May when I last uploaded something on people watching the Pacquiao Mayweather fight on the street. Check out my album to that. I would import from Dropbox. I don't have a camera roll. I would import from Dropbox. Well, I haven't linked it, but I would sign in every time. I've only posted 5 here. But little did I know, Storehouse updated to version 2.0 recently. It was only a few days ago that I realized they updated to version 2.0 because I wanted to post something I shot a week ago. I wanted to share it on Storehouse. So I uploaded those photos to Dropbox, and then I have actually already posted those things I photographed on my own blog, and I posted it in Medium. I was trying it out. It's a pretty good website for writing stuff. Their feature for sharing photos together with your articles are improving, so I'm trying it out. And I thought, you know what, I want to try posting it in Storehouse too. I had a little time last night, so I signed into Storehouse using my mom's iPad, and I realized, hey, the interface changed. They updated to version 2.0. I signed in, and then I created a new story. I patiently imported each photo from Dropbox. When you create a document, you create a text box, and I don't actually type on the iPad because I'm very old school. I really write on a keyboard or a laptop, but I find it really hard to type on these things. What I do is I would switch back to my blog, copy the text I used, then paste it here, then import another photo, blah blah blah. It was a little clunky, but it was fine. And in the end, when the post was done, it looked pretty good. It looks like this, very nice, and basically it just looks like how it looks on my blog. So after I finished it, I thought I was gonna browse around, see the other people. I used to follow people on Storehouse the way you follow people on Instagram, and I was like, where are the people I followed? I followed a bunch of good accounts, and they're no longer showing up in my app. So I thought, did I miss something? Sometimes when things update, I miss out on what areas to click, and then I looked at their update log or whatever, and it said that they no longer have the social media features or the feed or whatever you call it, because just check out their blog. But I think that's a huge mistake, or well, it's not for me to judge whether something is a mistake or not. For me as a user, I like Storehouse because it's kind of like I said, it's kind of like Instagram, but for long form. Now, if you take that away and it becomes just a platform for private sharing, why am I gonna create a post using a very like roundabout method of importing stuff from Dropbox on a device I find it so hard to type on? I have to copy and paste from my blog. Okay, I realize not everyone does that. Maybe people do actually type here and create a long ass post, an epic post. Maybe Jonathan Franzen does that, or whoever likes writing long stuff and then inserting photos and just share it privately. But because now Storehouse has something called Spaces, I guess they're like kind of shared private magazines between your friends or whatever. But for me, I don't really know anyone in this freaking Storehouse. No one has the patience no one I know has the patience to be typing stuff like that. And even for me, I only type stuff like this, long stuff with pictures. It's because of stuff I want to share out to the public. Usually stuff for, showcase my photography with a few captions, whatever. But taking that away, why am I going to bother with this very roundabout method of content creation, and I can just write on WordPress for my blog or type it on Medium and show it on my desktop computer, or I mean like any normal computer. Now, but actually, sorry, Storehouse doesn't actually make your posts private. What it does is just provides you with a sharing link, kind of like Google Docs, a sharing link that you could share out with the world. So you could still share the post you created. You could, after you post this, they have a sharing link here. So you could copy this link and share it on Facebook, whatever, and then on the browser, people will see this lovely post you made, which is in theory good, but you already have a sharing. If you post it on Medium or you post it in your own blog, you also have a link to share. So I understand that the post is still it's still shareable, but it's no longer discoverable within the app, which is what made Storehouse interesting to start with. It was just like when Instagram was this. Actually, I didn't like Instagram at the start because I am not comfortable with the idea of these little walled gardens where it doesn't even exist on the web, and it's just this little app that lives in your phone, and you just browse stuff within that little walled garden. It wasn't. I mean, I remembered when I was in LiveJournal, and it was good, but actually, but you get the idea. It's just within that little sphere where you're discovering content from people who are using that little sphere. You know what? I kind of in the end got used to it because, well, with Instagram, the stuff people share on Instagram, it's a little different from what you end up seeing in the general web. People anyway, it kind of grew on me. I still am not 100% comfortable with the idea of posting a lot of photos and then you can't even search them or index or whatever. I'm really more used to the Flickr style stuff where there's a lot of organizational features, but okay, it's grown on me. So I do see the kind of value in this in Instagram, and plus they already have a way of seeing your stuff on the web, so that's fine. You could send people a link to your Instagram profile on the web, and they could browse through your photos. That's how I actually look at Instagram on the web mostly. I'm very old school like that. Sometimes if I'm bored, I do scroll through it on my phone, but really mostly it's on the web. But with Storehouse, it used to be you could see your profile on the web, if I'm not mistaken. But now you don't have a profile link anymore. When you go into Storehouse, you just see your post and you see your name, but it's no longer clickable. Yeah, it's no longer clickable. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not very clear, sorry, on my camera, but it's not clickable anymore. But the link is shareable, but it's no longer discoverable within the app. So basically, you're just Storehouse just basically became a very neat iPad content creation app for text and photos. But why would anyone choose to write long form content on an iPad when you could just do it better and easier and more efficiently on a computer, whether a laptop or a desktop, right? What I liked was that, Storehouse had all these like weirdos who were posting stuff that were just Storehouse exclusives. Now it's gone. Well, I mean, it's still around, but you don't just randomly click people's names and then see what they posted because that feature is gone. So I don't like that change in Storehouse. Hopefully they bring back the social media features. I mean, I get what they wrote on their blog, that they don't want it to be this thing where people just post stuff and then some people get intimidated to posting other. Yeah, I get that, but then you're just like this weird. I remember when Apple had this iBooks or whatever, this thing where you just, was it iWeb, where you publish stuff online by, they have this like little Dreamweaver type web publishing tool that I don't even know if anyone used it, but it's kind of like that. Like, why would anyone choose to put their content out in this really difficult to use thing, unless there's some special reason that, hey, you know what, my work lives in this app, that people, I could interact with people within this app, like discover new people, but otherwise might as well just use my WordPress or Medium or whatever, and at least I could still, right? I mean, if all I get from this is a link to share with a wider world, or that magical private space to share with my family and friends, and I don't have any family and friends on here, and frankly, not a lot of people have patience to do this kind of very meticulous photo curating organization thing. I mean, people just usually blast out 100 photos from their trip to the beach or something. With Storehouse, you gotta be a type of person to be organizing blah blah blah, write text blah blah blah. It was geared towards a certain kind of creator or something, and it was good to find those people in the app before, kind of like Instagram, where, oh yeah, these are the kinds of people who use the app. It's like this little community, shall I say, but now it's gone. These are just my 2 cents. It's still a very good app, but for me, the value of using it as a content creation tool has dropped if my stuff on Storehouse is not discoverable by other Storehouse people, because if all I get, I don't know if I'm being redundant here, but if all I get is a link to share, I might as well just use my blog and share that link, or use Medium or whatever. Yeah. Thanks for watching.